Hi, my name is Wolfgang, and I'm a peer advocate at Health Promotion. Today I'm going to show you what I like to do when school and work get a little overwhelming for me, so I can take a break from both of those. I know everyone handles stress differently, but hopefully some of what I say today will be useful to someone. So I live in a studio apartment in Newark. I share it with my boyfriend and our cat Fluffy. I like living here and all, but sometimes, and especially since COVID started, it can be a little claustrophobic because, as you can see, it's pretty small. It's hard to feel like I can truly get away from my responsibilities for a minute when they're all kind of staring me right in the face. Because of this, the best way I know to really get a break is to go outside. Even though I live in a city, I'm lucky enough to have a park pretty close to my apartment, and I usually go there when I want to run. But sometimes I find it a lot more relaxing to actually be out in, real nature. When that's the case, I head up to Montclair. This may sound silly to those of you who are from New Jersey, but I'm not, and I kind of had this idea of it before I moved here where it was all cities. As you can see, that's clearly not the case. The nice thing about going to Montclair specifically is that there's actually a really beautiful trail right next to campus. It's part of the Lenape Trail, and you can get to it if you follow Normal Avenue past the school and across the train tracks. It'll be on your left if you come from that direction. For most of this video, I'm walking through a different trail though, that's part of the Eagle Rock Reservation. That one's not too far from campus either. I pass it on the way that I take to get to school. Hiking specifically for me has always been the best type of exercise when I need to relax and get my mind off something. It's not super strenuous, but there's enough to focus on, like not tripping over tree roots, that I'm busy worrying about something other than all of my assignments for a few minutes. I hike with my boyfriend sometimes, but most often I go by myself. It's really nice to get to listen to an album I've been meaning to check out or a podcast I like while I'm walking through the woods. I feel totally transported somewhere else for however long I'm out there. I'm sure lots of you are more active than I am, so hiking is probably no big deal, but I do want to say to anyone who doesn't consider exercise a regular part of their routine that hiking doesn't really have to be something you're doing for your body. I know for me personally, it's always been more about forcing myself to be mentally present and relax for a while. Plus, sometimes you see a deer or something, and that's always pretty cool. As a side note, if you are going out hiking right now, make sure to wear your mask. Just because there aren't as many people around as there usually are doesn't mean you won't run into anybody. It's important to be safe and courteous to others wherever you go. Remember to bring water and snacks as well. Even when it's cold out, you can still get really dehydrated, which is especially rough if you're in the middle of the woods and have a half an hour hike back to your water bottle. It's also important to wear the proper shoes for whatever conditions you're hiking in. I am absolutely guilty of not wearing snow boots per se to hike in the snow, but after walking around for 20 minutes with wet socks from the snow that got in, I have to say I can't recommend it. When snow isn't a concern, getting a pair of boots that have good ankle support is really helpful, because all trails are going to have at least some rough, uneven terrain. I haven't been to nearly as many different trails as I'd like to in the area yet, but I definitely recommend the two I've already mentioned in this video. And if you feel like going all the way to New York, there's also a bunch of really cool trails in Staten Island that are in what's called the Green Belt, and I recommend them as well. There's an abandoned hospital along one of the trails that I went on, and that one's super neat. That's about all I have to say about hiking, so hopefully some of the information was useful. I hope that everyone has a safe, easy semester.